Why on earth are people constantly shilling Rumble? That's a question I've had in my mind for a very long time. Rumble is a centralized company. It is basically the same as YouTube when it first started, and people constantly shill the company. Now, with the quartering, you have this kind of idea that he is basically advertising alt tech for competition, which is good. It's not bad. It's very good. But the problem is that there's another piece of alt tech that people won't go to for some reason. And that's Odyssey. I have no idea why everyone is like, oh, Rumble, you know, they fucking jerk off to Rumble all the time. Everyone's talking about Rumble. And what I want to know is why on earth no one whatsoever will absolutely understand the utility of Odyssey. Odyssey is open source, which is fantastic, because what happens is when Rumble decides for whatever reason they don't like your videos, which I believe will happen, YouTube at the start was like, yeah, everybody can, you know, upload. They were a friend to all the, you know, you can look at old YouTube videos and see how like completely almost messed up they are. You know, you have this one YouTube video and it was called, I think it was like the retarded cop or something like that. That's what they called it. This guy with kid with Down syndrome would pretend to be a cop. You can't make videos like that anymore because you're gonna get flagged. You're gonna get flagged, you're gonna get reported, your channel's gonna be shut down. YouTube does that all the time and people constantly complain about it. And still, they won't back up their videos to any other site, which is so stupid. It's so retarded. Just stop complaining about your videos and back them up. But the fact remains that Rumble is basically the same as young YouTube. So there is gonna come a time where either you can't upload your videos because they don't like you, or they're going to say you can't say that. I don't know who owns Rumble. It's some, I think, German guy or Swedish or whatever. He did some interview, I think, with Tucker Carlson like 6 months ago, which is fantastic because when I looked it up before, it was some weird LLC that owned Rumble and didn't say it belonged to the guy, didn't tell me who owned Rumble, who the CEO was. I looked up who owned Rumble and I got two different answers within the span of 6 months, which is very strange. There's also another issue with Rumble. It's a pretty big issue, and Shadiversity talks about this, I think on Night's Watch. He's responding to the quartering and he is talking about alt tech. And he mentions Odyssey and Rumble. And he sort of shills Rumble, but he talks about a lot of the downsides of Rumble, which is great because I hate Rumble. I absolutely hate Rumble. The downside of Rumble is that they're lying about their views.
We went in deep into the analytics to break down exactly what's happening here. A number of creators, myself included, have already had their, I guess, radar alerted to something going wrong with Rumble sometimes reports really high view counts and the likes and comments do not match those view counts. No. The standard likes to view ratio on YouTube is 10%. Whatever, on most videos you look at, if you look at the views and it gets the standard interactions outside of their heavily disliked videos and all those things, and so this is very consistent with Shadiversity and Night's Watch, is 10%. So if you have a video that has 100,000 views, you're going to expect around 10,000 likes. I looked at a video recently on Rumble that had a reported view count of 220,000 views, and it had barely over 1,000 likes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is such a massive and disproportionate ratio. What that really means is the true views of that video would be closer to 10,000 based on the likes.
Yeah.
Their views basically count as impressions, which is kind of weird because when you click on a video, you actually go to the video starts playing, right? So it's not like a feed like Twitter. Like, I understand why Twitter would count their views as impressions because you're scrolling, you know. But Rumble's a little weird, so it counts views as impressions. You know, when you're on YouTube, you can basically calculate the engagement. The engagement's usually 10%, you know. You have 100 views, you're usually going to get about 9 to 12 likes, right? That's usually what happens unless you're just completely boring or off the rails or whatever. Anyway, the point is, since Rumble is the same almost as early YouTube, and since Rumble is lying about their views, and who knows what else they're lying about, why would anyone shill the site over and over? I've never understood that. I don't even know why the quartering continues to shill that site. He goes live on Rumble all the time, and he tries to get people over the Rumble. Now, if you looked at Rumble versus Odyssey, you'd understand that Rumble is kind of a crappy looking video site. It's extremely disgusting to look at, versus Odyssey is actually very attractive to look at. It's about the same as YouTube when it comes to the home screen, and you got content and games and stuff like that. You have people you follow, they've got a following tab. Great idea. You could learn from that, YouTube. But they also have other things that you might be interested in. They've got tech, they have gaming, they've got all of those things. It's fantastic. And I'm very glad that Odyssey has decided to do that. You can even edit your home feed. So if you don't want a gaming tab, just edit it out. You can get rid of it. You don't even have to look at it. It's fantastic. So why again are we pushing Rumble? I don't understand this. The benefits of Odyssey, I've already talked about, is that it's open source. You can look at the code, you can fork the code, you can see what's going on in the code. So if you don't know who the owner is, because I don't either, that's one of the benefits of having something that's open source, is that you can see what's going on. You know how the algorithm works because it's in the code. You know what they're pushing because it's in the code. It's so fantastic. I have no idea who this Swedish or German guy is. I don't understand why we're pushing a centralized service at all. This is the whole problem with YouTube. Like I said, YouTube was a friend to the video creators, and now they're not anymore. And we are now pushing another service that is the exact same as early YouTube. So what's the difference? If you do not recognize that the thing that you're pushing is basically the exact same as the thing that you are on that started the exact same way, Rumble being the exact same as infant YouTube, then that's kind of a problem. If we're gonna push other things, you need to look at the utility of the product, and you need to make sure that when they advertise themselves, the way they operate is the same, almost the same way as their advertising, right? So Rumble advertises themselves as being someone who won't take your videos down, you know, free speech, blah, 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 all of that crap. But yet they're a centralized service. What happens when the CEO leaves? What happens then? Is it the same product? Who knows? What happens when the CEO leaves Odyssey or Library? Well, the app still exists because it's open source. So none of that's gonna change. So you can have the original code change or even be taken down, but you have all of the forked projects. So because of that, because I don't know how many things are forked from Library, I will actually be forking the projects and then leaving them in the description of this video so that I know that they're safe 100%, and I know that nothing bad is going to happen to them, because I'm not going to change them. I have no reason to change them. So that is my promise to you guys watching this video, that that code will not be changed under my name of the forked project Library. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, and I hope you guys can look at alt tech in a different way and stop promoting it just because it's popular. There's also a concern of the popularity that Rumble has had in a short span of time versus Odyssey. Odyssey came out in 2018, and so that's also something that should be looked at and should be kind of thought about and criticized, or I guess not criticized, but yeah, I can't think of the word right now. But anyway, you get my point. I'll see you guys in the next video.